Okay, at this time, we do have these three items of a public hearing. When your particular item comes up, if you would like to speak either against this or for this, we're going to ask you to come up to the podium so we can get you on camera, and also ask you to state your name, and we can get that for their record. So item number one is Mr. Patel requests rezone from a C1 to an R2 for property located at 906 Lafette Road, Rossville, Georgia, 30741. This is on tax map 0206-059. The first public hearing was on August 15th, 2019 at the Planning Commission. So is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition? Okay, seeing none, anyone like to speak for this? Yeah, we ask you to come to the podium, please.
I just want to request for this property.
Okay, could you tell us your name first?
My name is Dinesh Kumar Patel.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Used to be this tobacco store, but 4 years is closed down, and neighbor is all the residential. But I live in Tennessee, and this property is here, so people walk by, everybody, they just broke the glasses and stuff. I repaired 2 times, right now it's broke again. So these properties, I tried to sell it and lease it for the last 4 years, but nobody interested. So I'm planning to convert to the single family home.
Okay. And so actually, while you're up here, and since there's no one here else speaking, is there anyone else had anything on this one? It's because our second one here is also on the property next door,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
At
Yeah.
908 Lafette Road, and that's also for a rezone request from C1 to R2 for this property, and that is tax map 0-206-060. And this one was also heard at the planning meeting on August 15th, 2019. So I guess your comments apply to both of these, correct?
Yes, sir. One already is a house. I don't know how it's happened. It's a commercial. I don't know. It's for the years. It's still residential, but its zoning is commercial. So yes, I want to both want to make it residential.
Okay, all right. Thank you for
Thank you,
speaking.
sir.
Okay, anyone else on either one of these first two items? Okay, hearing none, we have number 3 here, the Fisher Estate request a partial rezone A1 to R2 for property located at 1669 Boss Road, Chickamauga, Georgia. Actually, before we do that, I'm sorry, I probably need to go to our planning and zoning chairman and ask him if there's any additional comments that need to be heard from the planning and zoning on item number 1 and number 2.
Mr. Patel's property, there was no one came to our meeting, so we didn't have any way to do any discussion about what needs to be done there. This piece of property has been brought to the planning commission once before, and it was denied. It's only a few feet to Rossville Boulevard, from the property. I think it used to be an old dry cleaners, and then it was maybe a liquor store or something, down the road. It's not something that the planning commission feels like that is a residential area, to put in there. So that's it. It was denied. Both properties were denied at the meeting. So.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we're on to number 3 here, the Fisher Estate request, partial rezone of A1 to R2 for property located at 1669 Boss Road, Chickamauga, Georgia, 30707, tax map 0-281-002. Also, this one was heard by the Planning Commission on August 15th, 2019. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition of this? Seeing none, anyone here would speak in favor of this? Yes, sir. Come on up, please.
Good evening. My name is Richard Elsner. I am the homeowner at 1669 Boss Road. It is on an 18-acre tract zoned A1. The Fisher Estate is selling that 18-acre tract. And we have lived there since 2005. And the landowner, the Fisher Estate, is willing to sell us we thought at first we could just buy a half acre, but we're gonna have to buy an acre to go for two, adjoining R2 area, so it'd be an acre. And the reason we're doing this is so that we can purchase this and get a title and everything. Otherwise, the new owners could force us to move, and it's on a permanent foundation. And the Fisher Estate is willing to sell us this. We have done the on-site inspection and all that. We're just waiting for the surveyor to come and survey that, and so.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming to speak.
You're welcome.
All right, also on this one from our chairman of our planning and zoning, Mr. Cantrell, any additional comments on this one?
Yes, this was brought to us to rezone this area so that he could end up with a smaller piece of property. It is an 18-acre tract of agriculture zoning, but the property is adjoined of R2 on both sides. One's across the road, one he can get to touch. So the board requested that he would have the property surveyed, and it would go down and touch R2, so that it will be a legal rezone, not a spot rezone. And so evidently he is doing everything we've asked him. Health department has to approve it, has to have a survey, and then go back with a deed showing that it touches R2, and then the planning board is willing to rezone him to R2.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other comments on any of these here tonight? Okay, what we will do, these are all on our agenda of our regular scheduled meeting that we'll take up and make the final decisions on those. So at this time, we will end our public hearing. It is now 6:08 p.m. and we will enter into our regular scheduled meeting on our full agenda for our regular business meeting tonight. And there were packets out front, and also all of this information is on our website. If you would like to have a copy of that, you can pull that up on the website of the county. We've already done our invocation and our pledge, so we'll mark those there. And then we have our minutes from the prior meeting, which was back on August the 8th, 2019. Does anyone see any issues or problems with those minutes from August the 8th? All right, hearing none, we'll sign those into the record. All right, we do have 3 proclamations that we're going to do tonight. And the first one here says, by the sole commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, a proclamation for Constitution Week. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law, and whereas September 17th, 2019 marks 232-year anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is a privilege and in our best interest of our county and the nation that we express our gratitude to our forefathers whose sacrifice should serve as a constant reminder of the high price of liberty. And whereas Daughters of the American Revolution has dedicated the month of September of each year to cause of the great soldiers that sacrificed their lives. And whereas this celebration of the Constitution was started by the Daughters of the American Revolution and adopted by the U.S. Congress and signed into law by Dwight D. Eisenhower on August 2nd, 1956. Therefore, I, Shannon K. Whitfield, sole commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, do hereby proclaim September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week in Walker County, Georgia, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideas of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigorously protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us, the guardian of our liberties. Signed and sealed the 22nd day of August 2019. And I think we have some ladies with us here tonight. So if y'all would come forward and we'll present this proclamation and get Joe to take a picture for us. Okay, our next one is Patriot Day. By the sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, proclamation of Patriot Day. Whereas the terrorist attack that occurred on September 11, 2001 claimed the lives of nearly 3,000 people, including some 400 emergency workers. And whereas we grieved as a nation, but we're also heartened by the acts of courage and compassion demonstrated by our firefighters, law enforcement, and other first responders who worked tirelessly to render aid during a chaotic ordeal. And whereas in memory of those we lost, we vow to keep moving forward. Let us have confidence in the values that make us American and in the unity we sustain every year on this anniversary. Let us stand together and recognize that united we can overcome any challenge or any confrontation. And whereas on December 18th, 2001, Congress and President George W. Bush approved Public Law 107-89, designating September 11th of each year as Patriot Day in remembrance of those whose lives were lost and in honor of the bravery and the selfless heroes who risked their lives that day. And whereas the community is encouraged to attend events like the First Responders Reminder Service at the Walker County Courthouse on 9/11 to hear stories from first responders. Therefore, I, Shannon K. Whitfield, sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, do hereby proclaim September 11th, 2019 as Patriot Day in Walker County, Georgia, in recognition of the courageous men and women who gave their lives in service to others to protect our liberties. I encourage all citizens to observe a moment of silence beginning at 8:46 a.m. to honor the innocent victims who perished as the result of the terrorist attack on September 11th, 2001. Signed and sealed the 22nd day of August, the year 2019, Shannon K. Whitfield. So I know we've got some of our first responders here. Would y'all like to come up and we'll get a photo? Yeah, come on up to it. Okay, we've got another one here. By the sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, a proclamation appreciation for the Dogwood City Grotto. Whereas the Dogwood City Grotto of Atlanta, Georgia has been a major supporter of the individuals and groups who engage in the rescue of persons lost or injured in caves and caverns throughout Georgia and the Southeast. And whereas in 1973, the Dogwood City Grotto formed a rescue section to assist Walker County Civil Defense in providing cave rescue service within the county. And whereas the Dogwood City Grotto continued to support when Walker County transitioned cave rescue service from a civil defense to the Walker County Fire and Rescue. And whereas since 1990, the Dogwood City Grotto has provided the Walker County Cave and Cliff Team with thousands of dollars in grant funding for equipment, while also providing a venue for the team's annual fundraiser. And whereas the Dogwood City Grotto also provides cave rescue training for its own membership in order to support Walker County Cave and Cliff Team during multi-day cave rescues with additional training resources are needed. Therefore, I, Shannon K. Whitfield, sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, do hereby proclaim September 7th, 2019 as Dogwood City Grotto Day in Walker County, Georgia, and encourage all of our citizens to show their appreciation to members of this organization for putting their lives on the line in service to others. Signed and sealed this 22nd day of August in the year 2019, Shannon K. Whitfield, sole Commissioner. So, I ask y'all to come back up, and any other firefighters or first responders? And folks, this is a real big deal for the support that they have provided for our community all the way back to 1973, and actually helping get Walker County better equipped and set up to do this. So this is a great proclamation. You got anything else you'd like to add?
Just that it might not have happened without Mr. Lee Henry, who used to be in charge of Walker County and City of Lafayette Civil Defense, because he's the one who reached out and asked for that assistance.
Very good. Thank you all for being here. So we'll get you to slide over just a little bit more. All right. It's always good when we can have these proclamations of great things happening in our communities. Okay, we have a resolution R 018-19 to create a local complete count committee for the 2020 census. I'll read this resolution here to you. Resolution R-18-19, a resolution of the sole commissioner of Walker County to create a local complete count committee for the 2020 census. Whereas the U.S. Census Bureau is required by the United States Constitution to conduct a count of all persons, and whereas the census count requires extensive work, and the Census Bureau requires partners at the state and local level to ensure a complete and accurate count. And whereas the Walker County Complete Count Committee will work with the U.S. Census Bureau in the state of Georgia to strive for an accurate count. And whereas the Walker County Complete Count Committee will bring together a cross-section of the community members who will utilize their local knowledge and experience to reach out to all persons of our community. Whereas a united voice from businesses, government, education, community, and faith-based organizations and others will enable the 2020 census message to reach more of our citizens. And whereas the following individuals be designated as the official Walker County Complete Count Committee members. So this is a starting list. We want to try to get about 24 people, but we wanted to get this started and get it going, and we'll have more members that we will add to this as we move forward. But we have Andy Arnold, Rhonda Beasley, Bill Bremen, Anessa Collins, Lisa Eubanks, Matt Harris, Joe Legee, Jonetta McSears, Herman Moore, and that should be Rachel Williford. So if you want to make that adjustment, that's Rachel Williford, Jim Saborin, Eddie Upshaw, Robert Wardlaw, Elizabeth Wells, and Lacey Wilson. Now therefore be it resolved by the sole commissioner of Walker County that Walker County is committed to partner with the U.S. Census Bureau and the state of Georgia through the Walker County Complete Count Committee to support the goals and ideas of the 2020 census, and will disseminate 2020 census information. 2, encourage all Walker County residents to participate in events and initiatives that will raise the overall awareness of the 2020 census and increase participation. 3, achieve a complete and accurate count of all persons within our borders. Be it further resolved that the sole commission expresses high gratitude for all the willingness of the above individuals to serve on the team and thanks them on behalf of the citizens of Walker County. So it be resolved and adopted the 22nd day of August 2019. So I will sign this to get this started. And then our clerk will attest this. Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Has there ever been a complete count committee like this before in Walker County?
I don't personally know, but this is something.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, this is something that's done every 10 years. And so they are asking this to be done across the country in every local community.
Who's asking?
The Census Bureau in the state of Georgia. And so they're trying to get all 159 counties to put volunteers together to try to get the word out, to let people know that the census is coming, that it's real, and the importance of the participation, because a lot of the federal dollars and also state dollars that pass down to local communities is based off of census data which is broken off into census tracts. And so they've got statistical information that shows for every like 100 people that is missed in the count, the thousands of dollars that are missed for your local community over that 10-year period of time. So a lot of times people, if they have a phone call or someone knock at their door and say, I'm with the Census Bureau, and they're like, why are they bothering me, or is this a scam? So this is just to get the word out that we want people to participate in, that it is something that's real, or someone needs assistance in completing the information, they can have a resource of people to assist them.
Will there be is there any kind of training that these people will go
Yes,
through?
yes, they will be sending up a representative from the Census Bureau from Atlanta to do some training, bring materials, and give ongoing guidance all the way through this process through 2020.
Gary, we met with them once already, and this is gonna be a very strong push towards online work this year from the federal government. They're gonna really push it. So this team here is a team to help them understand where the lay of the land here. This team is not the ones going out getting census information, and I think that's somewhat important to know. It's to say, well, where's that church? Well, okay, that church is right over there in Naomi, that kind of thing. Then there's gonna be informative pamphlets and things like that put up at strategic locations that lets everyone know the place to go online and register. That's gonna be the big push. And Joe, you have anything else since you were in there with?
I would just add, it's the first census that's ever been done online, obviously, since internet access wasn't as widespread 10 years ago. So the way the census is planning on rolling things out is to send everybody postcards in March of next year, where to go online to fill out the census. And it's a very short census this year. It's like 10 questions. And if you don't do it online, then you would get the form in the mail. And if you don't do the form, then after that, that's when the census workers would start knocking on your door. But I know one of the things that this group will be doing will be working with the libraries in the area to create stations, basically, where people who don't have internet access can go in the library and fill out the census there in the library, so that everybody has access to do that online.
Very good, thank you guys.
Question.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, yes.
Actually, I have a comment, and this is just based on the last census that was taken. And as I remember, there were 2 different forms that some people got a 10-question form and some people got 3 pages. I got the 3 pages. And there was much more information required on that than just taking a hit count. I only gave my name, address, and telephone number. Due to the skepticism that most people have, or a lot of people have, about the government, and the government wanting information, the government knows all about me anyway. They know how much money I owe, and they know more about me than I'd like for them to know. But there was a woman, and I'm not going to name her, she came by the house 2 to 3 times. She was a local person, I think probably on a committee such as this, and hounded me for this other information. Finally, they did send. They sent me a letter saying that on one particular evening, at a certain time, this was another individual from the government, coming from out of county, out of state. I knew she was coming. She stated the specific day and time she would be there. Wednesday night, I was going to church. 6 o'clock in the evening, I was prepared to go to a church service. This woman drove up in my yard, knocked on the door, on the back door to my carport, which is actually closed in and it's an entrance to my house. I didn't answer it. I heard her out there hollering. I heard her knocking. Finally, she had just opened the door and come on in to the confined my house, and entered my door and knocked on another inside door. She had a laptop computer, which at that time I had hardly ever seen one. This was 10-some years ago. The thing kept beeping. She was holding it in her hand. I said, "Are you recording me? Are you recording what I'm saying to you?" And I was nice to her, but I told her, "You have entered into my house under the confined roof of my house, entered my door without my invitation. I have not invited you in, and you're not welcome here simply because of that."
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Thank you for that commentary.
We don't want none of this stuff. This census should be equal, everyone have the same types of questions, and basically, a census, as far as I'm concerned, should just be to have a head count.
Yes, sir, and this is absolutely a federal government initiative.
I understand.
It's not a county initiative,
Right, I
it's not a
understand.
state initiative.
I understand we have no control or nothing to do with it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, though, for your
Yeah.
comment.
Okay, moving to our next item, number 5, we have a resolution R 019-19, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2019 budget to appropriate funds for capital equipment for Walker County Animal Shelter. Whereas OCGA 36-81-3 provides for the county to adopt a summary line item legal level of budgetary control whereby the governing authority controls county spending. And whereas Resolution R-01917 established the legal level of budgetary control for Walker County as a summarized object classification level, personnel expense, operating expense, and capital outlay. Whereas funding in the amount of $30,188.50 is available from donations to the Walker County Animal Shelter, and whereas the Walker County Animal Shelter is in need of a vehicle for transporting animals and equipment to and from the Walker County Animal Shelter. Therefore, be it resolved that the Walker County Governing Authority allocates funds in the amount of $30,188.50 from donations to the Walker County Animal Shelter to the line item for capital vehicles 100.3910.542200.00. So resolved and adopted the 22nd day of August 2019. This will also be attested by the clerk. And our next item on our agenda is we do have a copy of the purchase order and a copy of the purchase document. These funds, as I indicated, were donations, so we were able to use 100% of donated funds to be able to purchase this 2019 Ram ProMaster 2500 van in the amount of $30,188.50 to be utilized within the county, and the primary function is to transport animals and equipment for the animal shelter. Approve this purchase order as well.
It's a used vehicle.
It's a 2019. It had been pre-titled. It had, I think, 12 or 15,000 miles on it. I think it's about 15,007 miles, so it was pre-titled. But they were able to sell us that vehicle a couple $1,000s less than the state contracted price, since it was a pre-owned. Okay, our next item is another purchase order. And again, just for those of maybe your first meeting or just as a refresher, any purchase orders that we have over $15,000 that's outside the normal course of daily business, we bring these forward. So even with those being donated dollars, we wanted people to understand and to have knowledge of where those dollars went. And then we also have a purchase order here for our main courthouse building. The main courthouse building works off of a water chiller system. We replaced 2 of the units in the attic last year, and as it would be known, the other 2 units are failing on us as well. So this is to replace the 2 water chiller units in the south attic of the main courthouse for a total price of $31,833 even. There's no amendments to the budget or anything of that nature. This is actually a budgeted capital expenditure, so this keeps us within our budget to be able to invest these dollars in order to keep the Temperature maintained properly in the courthouse. So we'll sign this purchase order as well. Okay, now we have the items for our zoning request. Item number 8, Mr. Patel's request, a rezone from C1 to R2 for property located at 906 Lafette Road, Rossville, Georgia, 30741, tax map 0-206-059. The Planning Commission, I believe it was unanimous vote as well, unanimously voted to deny this request, and I'm going to uphold their recommendation of their unanimous vote to deny these requests, and for this property to continue as a C1 commercial property on both number 8 and number 9, so both at 906 Lafette Road and also 908 Lafette Road. Okay, item number 10, the Fisher Estate requests a partial rezone from A1 to R2 for property located at 1669 Boss Road, Chickamauga, Georgia, 30707, tax map 0-281-002. The Planning Commission recommends approval with conditions, and it's marked on here. The conditions upon approval is the environmental health, to make sure the proper septic system and they have reached that obligation and commitment. And then also this will still be contingent, as you well know, of the survey work that needs to be done, so we make sure we're meeting state requirements. So I will accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Committee with the approval with the stated conditions. Yes, sir.
Once the survey is done, do I have to wait for the planning committee to meet again, or can I take it to the office?
You just take it to the office, and also with your environmental information. Anything dealing with those conditions, since it has been through the approval process, is just more of documentation for the file.
Thank you.
Okay, good question. Okay, that officially ends our regular session of our meeting, and at this time we will open the floor to discussion. We do have some guidelines here for our discussion, and I'll just read those that are here on the agenda. It says, the business on the agenda being completed, Commissioner Whitfield will open the floor for general discussion in response to requests from citizens. Speakers are asked to limit their comments to 5 minutes and keep their topics related to county business. Many times we would love to have an opportunity to solve some of our national problems, but that's not what we're here for tonight. We got to keep things focused on Walker County. So Robert is our official timekeeper, and we asked everyone that when Robert tells you that if it maybe he can give you maybe a 1 minute to go, kind of maybe hold up one finger, 1 minute to go, to let you know that you've already been 4 minutes, and then he will let you know when your time is up. And we just ask you to be respectful to the other members that are here tonight in the room, that everybody adhere to the 5-minute clock. So is there anyone that would like to speak tonight? Okay, yes sir, right here. And if you would state your name too, please, so everyone will know who you are.
Well, I've been down here a few times. I figured y'all know it by now. My name's Leon Bell. I live in Flintstone, Georgia. I've got this property in Flintstone. And I was wondering if any of you folks had heard anything about the property down there. I was thinking that the thing was, it's zoned for residential, and this guy was trying to put tents up there. And we don't, none of the neighbors want that. And it's been like 6 months now. And so we're just wondering, because I have neighbors call me all the time, wanting to know if I've heard anything. And I told him, I said, tonight I'll go down there and just ask the folks down there if they've heard anything. And, you know, I know y'all are busy, and I'm doing this out of respect for y'all. But, I mean, you know, would like to know something, you know.
Yeah, I'll let Robert take that.
Because we, actually, just this week, Matt and I were working on this. There isn't an answer yet. We're trying to learn from other places some of the best practices that they've come up with, because we've never had this before here. This is brand new for us. And there isn't an answer yet, but we are addressing it. And
Well, can I ask a question?
yes, sir. Sure.
It went before the planning committee. They totally denied it. They said, okay, it's against the law. I mean, this is easy. And now I find out that it's not against the law.
No, sir, it's not against the law. It's just we have to make a decision that represents the majority of citizens of how we as a county want to move forward economically and with respect to the residents and property owners. So we're not taking it lightly and just saying, well, let's just say this. We're taking it very seriously
Well, I appreciate
to
it.
understand what it is that we're really laying out and
Well,
how it affects people.
I think, me and you've talked before, and I've asked, you know, that y'all come out there and just look. Because, I mean, if you look at the place out there, if you look at the property, he is, and another reason I'm down here is because the man has, I don't know what he's doing now, but he's resurveyed the property, and he's putting, and there was and I have my neighbors tell me this. I mean, I don't sit up there with a telescope and look down at him. But anyway, he's doing a lot of stuff up there, and that's the reason I was down here, wanting to know if y'all have heard anything, have you done anything, you know, because evidently he's going forward with something. So,
I've not heard anything.
I have heard that, but I don't wanna say because I don't know it from him, but I just heard around the community that it's more of a traditional approach that this particular individual is taking that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with that project. But what we're examining here is a broader based look at how it affects the whole county in many different applications, not just that particular project that you're referring to there.
well, let me ask one more thing, then I'll get out of y'all's hair. I have lived in Walker County for 30 years. I've owned 2 homes in Walker County. A lot of the folks that live around that property has done the same thing.
Yeah.
Do we not have do y'all not look at all this? I mean, you know, I've paid taxes in Walker County. I hate to say it, that. Because, you know, you're gonna pay taxes wherever you live. And so, but, bottom line is this, you know, y'all come up there and look at the place and see if you would want to come up there and spend the night. I mean, hell, he's building it in a daggum cow pasture. I mean, and it's a pretty view up there, but there ain't nothing to do up there. I mean, you know, you can't go hiking. You can't. He talked about a pond down there with stocked with fish. There ain't no pond. I mean, you know, your dog can swim, or your dog can just about jump across it, you know. And so, I mean, just get your cars and drive down there. I'll be more than happy, you know, y'all come up for lunch one day, you know. I'd be more than happy to show it to you. And
Yeah,
then
we
you
appreciate that.
and
If you would host that and show us all the details of it.
hey, I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
You
like we
send me a-
committed before, we're not gonna do anything until we get up there and meet with the citizens anyway. So it's still a tabled event.
Okay, well, I thank y'all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, ma'am. You're next. Come on up, if you would.
Thank you, sir.
If you would state your name.
My name is Hannah Thunderberg. I'm here to discuss the special needs park located behind the Waco County Civic Center. My husband and I are veterans and have recently moved to Lafayette from North Carolina with our son. Last week on August 15th, my husband, son, and I went to use the running trail behind the Civic Center. As we approached the track, we noticed a small, untended, poorly equipped park. We then saw a sign that read Special Needs Park. My husband and I were outraged at not only the condition of the park, but that such a neglected park would be designated for the special needs. This hit very close to home for us because we have a 2-year-old son who is in fact disabled. Our son learned to walk on an all-inclusive playground, so we knew immediately what the special needs park was lacking. For instance, there's no shade. The wheelchair swing there is broken. There is no ramp leading up to the wheelchair swing. Most of the playground is made of metal and is burning hot. There is a wooden barrier that encloses the park and therefore restricts wheelchair access. This week, I spoke to the assistant to the CEO of Playcore and a dealer and rep of the playground company. I got a hold of them because last year, Playcore granted the state of Georgia over $2 million to build inclusive playgrounds. I sent them photos and videos of the special needs park, asking for their opinions. They first noted that the playground does not have any ADA right of access, ADA, American Disability Act. The dirt and grass do not count as accessibility. The ISO standards are out of date and not meeting codes, which means that the playground needs to be torn down immediately or needs a serious upgrade. In order for the park to be considered a special needs park, it needs to have a handy-capable, accessible route outside the play area. Inside the play area, it needs ground-level accessible routes, ramps, transfer platforms and systems, play components, and safety surfacing. This park currently has none of these components and does not qualify to be a special needs park. I am wanting to tear down the current special needs park and build an all-inclusive park in its place. I believe this could only benefit our community. I've seen firsthand in Swansboro, North Carolina, how an all-inclusive park can bring together children and families of all abilities to show that though we are all different, we are all the same. That sense of community, I want to bring it here. If we build the playground, Walker County could be the very first inclusive national demonstration site in the state of Georgia. The National Demonstration Site Program of Excellence captures a community's commitment to advancements in play and recreation and recognizes their efforts through a comprehensive recognition program. This could put Walker County on the map. As long as our playground aligns with the 7 principles of inclusive playground design, our project can be designated as a national demonstration site. If we partner with Playcore, they've shown me 61 different programs that will grant funding. I do not want to burden taxpayers. I cannot stress that enough. I have 1 program that is global, 51 that are national, and 9 that are here in the state of Georgia, willing to grant funds that will build this playground. My family and I are very passionate about all-inclusive parks. 3 years ago, we were told our son would be paralyzed from his chest down, be severely mentally handicapped, and have no quality of life. 9 months ago, he took some of his very first steps on an all-inclusive playground. Can you imagine the impact that this playground can make on future children's lives? I'm asking that the county would move forward and please build an all-inclusive playground. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hannah. Hannah and I spoke about this before, and it's a very fascinating idea. And I committed to Hannah, and I gave her my number. We're gonna meet up there and see what we can do, especially with Hannah's passion for finding grants.
Yeah.
As difficult as it is financially for us, and everyone in here knows, it has been a difficult several years. And, but with that kind of passion to help write grants, I assure you, you're gonna get full support.
Thank you.
And I'll speak for myself as the community development. I mean, this is right up the alley of the things that I would help you with.
Thank
And
you.
the whole team will. This is a great idea.
Thank you.
And I look forward to, we're gonna meet next week, so we'll give updates to everyone as we proceed here and see what can be accomplished together.
And thank you for bringing this forward. I was not aware that there was even a sign back there. I don't know. I've been in this community a long time. I had never seen that sign. I don't know how I missed it. But David sent me pictures of it the other day, and we had him immediately take that sign down until we can get this fixed.
I
and get
greatly
in place.
appreciate it. I did
So
see
thank
it
you
go
so
down.
much for bringing this forward. And a lot of times we walk right by things that we just don't think about, we're thinking about other things. So thank you for your enthusiasm, and thank you to you and your husband for your service to our country.
Thank you for your
And
support.
thank you for coming here and kind of spearing this task to get such a park, because the Civic Center is the ideal place to do it. It's center of our county. There's a lot of green space there. It is ideal to go in there and do something the right way. So let's get it done.
Thank you so much. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Al.
your time tonight.
Thank you. Okay, who's next? Mr. Bernafini, yes, sir.
Come up here, be with me. You have to represent the CEO of Bluebird Hollow Farm. You have to stand by my side like you have for 49 years. She is the CEO of 2 corporations that are soon to be world renowned. We have one objective and one goal here in Walker County, Georgia, and that is to establish a venue and a place people from all over this world is going to recognize as number one. We're after number one. We don't want anything else. My name is Ray Seaburnfin, and I'm the general manager of this corporation, and I have some comments that I would like to make. Commissioner Whitfield and distinguished members of the county government and city government, and distinguished and honorable residents of Walker County, Georgia. I love to be a resident of Walker County, Georgia. I'm not the Marlboro man, but I do promote and represent a number of things with my address and with my wear, and I'm glad to be here. I've been reading a book. I've had it for a long time in my possession. In fact, it sort of helped to bring me to Walker County, Georgia. It's called Think and Grow Rich. Think. Think. I want us to think tonight. Just think where we're at right now or where we could be. This is not some spoof. This idea, and this says the book could be worth $1 million to you. Now, $1 million back several years ago was a lot of money, but now, what are we talking in terms of? We're talking in terms of billion. This is not prosperity gospel, but it's based. It comes right out of this book right here. Most of the concepts and precepts here. I've observed some things, you understand, as we operate our meetings and as we open our meetings. We have invocations that we call upon the higher power to come and visit us. For the Holy Spirit of the living God to be present in our meetings. Just as the framers of the Constitution did. Now I want us to think a little bit about, are we really sincere in letting Him move and motivate in the decisions that we make? You see, I have some things here that, in fact, I think that the precept is that it's outlined that we should pray in the name of Jesus. A prayer is not effective unless we're praying and believing in the Son of the living God. I'm not a preacher. I'm not licensed to preach. I'm only a layman. But I'm going to tell you there's some concepts and moral precepts that this book here mentions several times you don't get something for nothing. It's based on capitalistic philosophy, capitalistic ideas. We're promoting today.
2 minutes.
We're promoting today. Just think, here's 2 or 3 examples. The lottery. People are playing the lottery because they are expecting something for nothing. I'm going to get something free I don't have to work for. Then they turn around and waste it. I'm submitting a request to the living God and believing. This is not prosperity gospel, but He tells you in here, if you're going to use it for the right purposes and the right causes, and we represent a nonprofit charity, Golden Sound Music. So we're going to I've submitted a request for 22 billion. Now, it tells you in this book to expect a certain day and time to have it done. Where do you get $22 billion? Put it in a search engine and do a Google for it. It says to see it, to think it, and feel it, and imagine it by viewing it. Go to bed and dream about it at night. I Googled it in a search engine the other day, $22 billion. There's a drug lord in Mexico that when they counted his stash, and there's pictures of it, is stacked in a room in there. There's pantries, there's cabinets that are stacked plumb full of the cash. I'm not looking for the cash, but I'm looking for what it will do. When I get a hold of it, we'll answer some of these problems.
Thank you, Mr. Burnfield.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We're looking
Thank you.
for it and expecting it. And we're gonna do great things down at Bronco Road at Bluebird Hollow Farm with it.
Let's get it done. Thank you, sir.
We're gonna get it done.
Thank you.
Need it next month. We've got people coming, contractors and excavators. We're gonna move the mountains down there.
Okay, yes, sir. I think you, yeah.
Gary Williams is my name. Tonight was supposed to have been your reading and signing of a special tax district, but it got tabled, and I'm very glad for that. I'm against any kind of special tax district in Walker County. I have a question. This petition that was wrote, there's two of them, one against, one for. I'd like to know if you or your team wrote this petition, or was it someone from the Wilson Neighborhood Group?
We didn't write.
I didn't know.
Okay.
No.
I was just, because it's very misleading on how it was stated, and I'm glad to know that y'all didn't write it. They started this on June the 20th, was their very first meeting, and y'all were there, I was there. I missed the second meeting, but the way they went about it was, I think, coming in the back door, and I feel like you were somewhat supportive of it, but because you had an ordinance actually wrote, I guess by our county lawyer, Mr. Williamson. I'd like to know how much time it took to write that ordinance.
I honestly don't recall, sir.
Okay. It'd be nice to know how much time was spent on something dealing with setting up special tax districts in the county, which I call it a special tax disease. And I could explain it, but I don't have but 5 minutes, so I'm gonna cut my time
Just know
short.
that I don't bill by the hour. I'm salaried. So all of the amount of time that I put into any work, it's not billed by the hour.
I understand that, but any other business out here is something called time management, where they have to log in on each project how much time was spent, and I thought, it'd be nice to have that information. Bottom line is, I'm against special tax districts, and I could explain exactly why and go into very much detail as I did somewhat at our meeting that we had. But I want to say one thing. On the same day that Congress approved the Declaration of Independence, it appointed John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin to draft a seal to characterize the spirit of the new nation. And Benjamin Franklin, he either said this or wrote it. I don't know if he said it or wrote it, maybe both. But he said, "Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God."
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
All right, anyone else like to speak tonight? Anything concerning Walker County? All right, well, it is 6:57, and we appreciate all of y'all coming, and we'll be back here in 2 weeks for our regular scheduled meeting at 6 o'clock. Hope everyone has a great week and a safe journey home, and thank you very much for being here tonight and taking part. Thank you.
Thank you, folks.